If you buy leads for your business, then this video is for you. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what metrics that you should be looking for when you're purchasing leads, and it's not the price per lead. The price per lead is actually the least important thing. It's also going to detail 5 lead types that you could be buying for your business and what type of metrics you should be expecting from those leads. Let's get into it. Before you ever buy leads and before you start calling on leads, you should fully understand what your expectations should be. And we've learned this in the lead game for about 7 years now. So let's dive into this. And I think by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to call leads and what a lead should result in for you. So let's start with some terminology. LTA, you want to understand this. This means lead to appointment. How many leads does it take you to get an appointment, right? So if you get 10 leads and you get 2 appointments, that's a 20% LTA. And you want to understand how many leads does it take me to get an appointment? And then what does it cost me to get an appointment? Okay, so that's what LTA means. Second term to understand before we dive into these 5 different types of leads is CPA, which is cost per acquisition that you can see here at the bottom. This means, and you want to understand your cost per acquisition, because once you understand what cost per acquisition really means, then it doesn't matter what your price per lead is. And you'll understand that here in a minute. So if you spend $10 per lead, let's say, and you get 10 leads and you get 1 deal out of those 10 leads, that means you spent $100, right, to get 1 deal. Your cost per acquisition is $100. So think about this as an example. Some people may get 10 leads from a lead source and they may close 1 deal. And let's say the other 9 leads don't answer the phone and they may be angry, trying to get a refund or trying to get a returned 9 leads. At the end of the day, those 9 leads that didn't answer the phone, for example, really don't matter at all if your cost per acquisition was $100. Let's say you have a high ticket sale or you're selling a home service or something where you're making more than $100 profit, maybe $1,000, a couple $1,000 profit. If you gave that lead source $100 and you got a deal, does that make sense for you? If it does, keep paying that lead source. Don't worry about the leads that didn't answer because you have a good cost per acquisition. This is what a lot of people don't understand in leads. They think that every single lead should be an appointment, should be a sale. That's not how leads work. For our companies, we know what our cost per acquisition needs to be. And it doesn't matter if, half of the leads don't answer the phone if we get a deal that falls within our target cost per acquisition. So those terms are really helpful to understand these 5 types of leads. And there are more types of leads, but these are the 5 that you're going to be purchasing online from people like us or from other lead sources online. So you've got aged, semi-exclusive, real-time exclusive, live transfer, and appointments. And understand what these mean. So let's start with aged. Aged means you're buying pretty much aged data, so large lists. What does this mean? It costs cents, 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents per lead. Very, very cheap. You should expect a 1 to a 3% lead to appointment. And then you could do the math backwards to see how many appointments does it typically take you guys to get a deal, right? So if you're buying an aged list and you're buying leads in the cents, you should expect 1 to 3% of those leads to book an appointment. Very, very low, right? And that's why they're cheap. The next level up is what would be called a semi-exclusive, or other people call them shared leads. What this means is it is a real-time generated lead. So, someone went online and they filled out the information that they want your product or service, but it's shared or semi-exclusive, meaning it's going to 2 or 3 companies. It's going to 2 or 3 or 4 companies maybe. What does that mean? It means it's going to be the next price up in terms of a lead, but really still not an expensive lead, only let's say $20, for example. And you should get a 10 to 20% LTA, right? So you're going to have to go through more of those leads to get appointments because they're shared. But if you have a good call center, you've got good callers, maybe that's a lead for you because it's a cheaper lead, but you are sharing it and competing with other companies, which is why it's priced in that second level of pricing. Okay, the next lead, and this is mostly what my company offers. These are the leads that we like to buy typically. They're the real-time exclusive leads. So those will be a little bit more expensive on the chart here, maybe $40 to $60, up to $80 or $90 a lead, depending on the industry that you're in. This is someone that filled their name out online, and it got sent immediately just to you. So it's not shared, it's just to you, and you should expect a higher LTA, a higher lead to appointment percentage. Maybe 15 to 25%. If you're buying these leads and you're getting a 5% LTA and you're paying that price, that's not good. So you want to be around 15 to 25% is acceptable on these types of leads. So again, don't worry about the ones that don't answer, the ones that are bad. Your goal is to hit these type of numbers because this will make sense for you. So 15 to 25% LTA, a little bit higher, maybe 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 should be booking an appointment, and they're a little bit more of an expensive lead. Okay. The next type of lead here is a live transfer. So this is where you're buying them from a call center and somebody's on the phone and they're talking to that person that wants a service and they transfer it over to your company. Now, again, this is the next level up in price. It's going to be anywhere from $150 to $200. But the LTA is going to be 50+% because the person is on the phone already, inquiring, knowing that, they're looking for this product or service. So you can see how you're willing to pay a little bit more because you know that person, is on the phone. It's going to probably be an appointment for you half the time. Okay. The next type of lead is an appointment, right? This is the most expensive type of a lead typically, where somebody sets the appointment. They do all the qualifying questions for you. They're ready to go and they book the appointment and you pay the most expensive price, say $250, $300, $350. Again, the LTA will be 100% because you're getting an appointment. So you can figure out, what you're paying per appointment, and you could, do that with all of these type of leads by just doing some simple math and understanding. But for you guys that are calling leads and you're buying leads from all different lead sources and you're worried about the price of the lead, don't worry about the price of lead. Don't be trying to get a cheaper price per lead. Don't be saying, well, you're selling at 50 and these guys are at 30, so I'm going to go with them. The price per lead, and this is what I try to make all of our clients understand, the price per lead really is the least important thing. The price per lead is the least important thing. The price cost per appointment is more important, right? So if you go down here, down back to LTA, and you can see or CPA, you can see that your cost per acquisition was $100. So it doesn't matter. If you know your cost per acquisition, then it really doesn't matter the price per lead. You want to spend, a couple $1,000s on a test and do the math backwards. Say, hey, what percent of appointments did we get? And did we close any deals? And what does that make our cost per acquisition? So don't really worry about the price per lead. Don't worry about the leads that are not answering. If you're buying an aged, semi-exclusive, or an exclusive lead, they're not all going to answer. And that's part of that process. Not every single lead is an appointment. So you understand if you're buying a lead and your mentality is that every lead should be completely interested in almost an appointment, then look at the price you should be paying for that, around $175 or $300. So if you're paying in that $30, $40, $50, $60 range per lead, don't worry about the stuff that hits the floor. Don't worry about the stuff that doesn't set. Worry about the stuff that does. Because if you think that every single lead should be an appointment, then again, you should be buying appointments. It's a higher price. So just if you understand that, then you'll be able to keep budgets on longer. You'll be able to do math backwards and say, hey, for simple math, let's say you got, you spent $100 on leads and got one appointment. That's $100 cost per appointment. If you're okay with paying every time you pay $100, getting an appointment, so let's say you $10 a lead, 10 leads, one appointment. Okay, so it costs you $100 for that appointment. If that makes sense for your company, every time you were to give someone $100, you get an appointment, you're happy, then that's okay if 9 of those 10 leads didn't answer the phone. So look at the cost per appointment and the cost per acquisition from the leads that you buy, not necessarily the price per lead, and trying to figure out a price per lead, because the price per lead is actually the least important thing. Hopefully that helped. Talk to you guys soon.